most med spa owners don't have a revenue problem. They have a systems failure. And surprisingly, they keep blaming the software because they think it's easier than fixing the structure. So I'm here to tell you, your CRM is not broken. Leads disappear, follow-ups feels inconsistent, reports, they don't match what your front desk is saying that's happening. See, you've already paid somebody to fix the system, and you're probably considering switching programs again. Listen, just stop, okay? CRM is not the problem. The CRM is the evidence of the problem. What I'm about to explain will reframe how you think inside your clinic. Most med spa owners are solving the wrong layer of systems. They're treating symptoms instead of structure. That's why revenue stays unpredictable, no matter how hard you work. So before we go any further, I want to introduce myself and why I'm qualified to say these things. I'm Mocha, and I'm the founder of Lux Intelligence. I work with med spas and service-based businesses that already have demand, but they cannot make revenue predictable. I don't sell marketing, okay? I don't sell tools. I diagnose and rebuild the revenue systems that sits underneath your leads, your booking, and follow-up. I've helped businesses stop leaking 6 figures a year by fixing misleads, broken response protocols, weak booking systems, and owner-dependent operations. And I don't do that by adding more traffic, but by making the revenue that they already have convert consistently. Everything I'm about to walk through with you right now is solely off of auditing real clinics, not theory. So let's just jump into it. Okay, so here's what actually happens in most med spas, all right? As you can see, a lead comes in through a website form or Botox or body contouring, or a call comes in while the front desk is checking out a patient, right? The CRM logs it. Okay, as you can see right here, the CRM logs it, the phone system logs it, and then nothing happens automatically. All right, that's a problem. The front desk is busy, right? Okay, the injector is in the treatment room. All right, the owner assumes that, someone else is handling what's going on up there. Okay, hours later, someone checks the CRM and they send a generic email. All right. And that generic email will say something like this: thanks for your interest. Here's our booking link. Okay. At that point, the patient has already contacted 2 other clinics. They've already got on Google and they've already searched for 2 other clinics. Okay. One of them responded in 5 minutes with a text message and booked consult. Mind blowing, right? So with the result of all of that, the owner concludes, my CRM must not be working, right? And that is the wrong diagnosis, all right? The CRM worked perfectly, all right? Your clinic has no response system. That's bad for business. A CRM does one thing, all right? It stores data. And that's it. It does not decide what happens next unless you tell it to. If you're a med spa owner and you're watching this video, or you're listening to me, and you already know your lead response, booking or follow-up process is inconsistent. If you know that it's inconsistent, then this is exactly the kind of issue we diagnose at Lux Intelligence. And that is why the revenue recovery diagnostics exists. Clarity before more tools, more hires, or more changes. So let's talk about the real failure point, okay? Because revenue in med spa flows through 4 structural gates, all right? And we're going to talk about it. Gate 1 is capture, okay? All right? A potential patient submits a form or calls, all right? Gate 2 is response. Okay, as you see, response. The clinic acknowledges interest and initiates conversation. And as you can see, you blame gate 1, you fail at gate 2. Right here, all right? Response is so important. Gate 3 is conversion, all right? The conversation turns into a booked consult or a treatment, okay? Gate 4 is retention, all right? The patient is rebooked and stays engaged long term. That's what you want, right? That's what keeps them coming back. See, most med spa owners think they fail at gate one, right? When you capture. And they assume the problem is lead capture or software, and that's not even the case. Okay. When I audit clinics, that's almost never true. Listen, the leads are there, okay? Every single one. And it's logged in the CRM. All right. Logged in the call system. Okay. The failure happens at gate two. Okay. There is no response protocol. That's the issue. And let's talk about it, right? So a lead comes in at 11:42 a.m. on a Tuesday. Let's just say it's a Tuesday, right? The CRM logs it, okay? After the CRM logs it, you're not sending, there's no text, okay? There's no task. No task is assigned. No escalation is triggered. All right, 4 hours later, someone notices it. And by then, child, the patient is gone. Okay, the patient is out the door, down the street, around the corner, at another clinic. Okay? So this is not a CRM problem. This is a protocol problem. So here's where it gets dangerous, okay? When there is no response system, you become the system, okay? This is you right here. All right, you check the CRM yourself. Okay, you remind the front desk to follow up. All right, you personally respond to messages when you can. And that's taken away from more tasks that you have to attend to in order to put back in your business. And I know it feels like leadership, but it's not. And I call this structural failure. Okay, your clinic only converts when you're paying attention. And that is an issue. That is a huge issue. If you're in a treatment, guess what? Revenue leaks. All right. If you take a day off, follow-ups drop, gone. And if you get busy, leads, they will rot. All right. You've built owner dependency into your revenue flow. Then you try fixing it by hiring more people, more staff. You hire a front desk coordinator, right? You train them. Okay, we train them. You explain how leads should be handled. All right, and then 2 weeks later, child, you check the CRM again, and it is the same exact problem. Not because the hire is bad or anything, but because you try to replace yourself instead of installing a system. And you cannot hire your way out of system failure. I hate to break it to you, but that is a known fact. So let's talk about systems versus effort, okay? Because most med spa owners think operationally. They ask, what should my team do when a lead comes in? And the answer sounds right? Respond quickly. Okay. Be friendly, send info, follow up. But should is not a system. It's not. Should depends on memory, availability, attention, right? Systems asks a different question. When a lead event occurs, what instruction executes automatically? Okay, lead arrives, and then there is instant SMS messaging or SMS acknowledgement, right? No booking, okay, automated follow-up sequence. That's how you get them on your calendar. No response, escalation to front desk manager. Tracking? Okay, no engagement. Lead, they moves to nurture. Nurture your audience. Nurture your potential clients, okay? Human effort is inconsistent, I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you, but it is. We are so tied up in different things. We gotta do this, we gotta do that. We don't have two hands. It's but so much that we can do as humans, right? Infrastructure is not. All right. Your CRM can execute this. You're just using it like a filing cabinet. And that is an issue. And this is why at Lux Intelligence, we never start with installs or automation builds, just random tools that you probably don't even need. We do not do that. Before anything changes, you need to know exactly where revenue is leaking inside your clinic, all right, and what's it's costing you, because that's major, right? That is the purpose of a diagnostic, right? Not guesses, not opinions, but straight numbers and straight clarity. So let's talk about the real costs. Let's do the math, okay? Because a typical med spa in our target range generates around 100 leads per month, okay? And if your response is manual, it's conservative to assume 25 to 30% of those leads get no meaningful response or response that is too late. Okay. That is 25 missed leads. 25. All right. If your average book consult or treatment value is $800, your conversion rate is what? 30%? That's 25 times 30%. That's $800, which equals $6,000 a month. And that is $72,000 per year from one broken gate. Major, right? Those are big numbers. Those are essentially large numbers from one leakage. Most clinics aren't leaking $70,000. Okay, they're leaking annually $200,000 to 400. Huge numbers, right? And they think that the CRM is the issue, and it's not. Trust me. We just debunked it. Okay. So let's talk about why platform switching fails in med spas. And I see it all the time. All the time. Unnecessary, changing everything. Like, it's a huge mess. Okay. Switching CRMs doesn't fix this. It does not. Okay. Boulevard, Zenati, Go High Level, HubSpot, Salesforce. These are the ones that I can come up top of my head. All of them can automate a response. All right. They can follow up. They can do confirmation, and they can do escalation. This is what we want. All of them. All right. We want this. When clinics switch platforms, when they switch platforms without building instruction architecture, they migrate their broken process into new software. All right. And then look, 6 months later, the same exact chaos. Okay. Different interface, but the same outcome, because software is not the constraint. Architecture is. All right. And let's talk about what installation actually means. What does it mean? All right. You're probably looking like, well, Mocha, how can I stop this leakage? Like, what can I install? Like, what does this actually mean? Well, when we install a predictable growth system for a med spa, we're not setting up software. All right. I'm not setting up software. We are programming revenue behavior. All right. Every event triggers into instruction. Every single event. All right. Every instruction has a timeline. Every failure has an escalation. And that's what creates predictability. not effort, not vigilance, not reminders. And that's what creates predictability. All right. It's not efforts, it's not vigilance, not reminders taped on your front desk. Programming the right revenue behavior is essential in your med spa. I cannot stress that enough. If you're running a med spa and you want revenue predictability instead of guesswork, the first step is not more marketing. Whoever is telling you that is just out for your money. And I'm here to tell you now, it is not the first step is more marketing. Okay. And it's not switching CRM platforms. Okay. Do not do that. It's essentially clarity. All right. That's what the revenue recovery diagnostics provides. Everything else comes after. Everything that that you need in order to scale your business comes after. And I want to add that Lux Intelligence, we only work with decision makers, people who are go-getters, and people who are serious, okay, about their clinics. All right. And if that is you, then your next step is clicking the link in my description below and booking your revenue recovery diagnostics. And I'm going to be honest with you, most med spa owners will never fix this. All right. And they will continue to have leakage, revenue leakage in each and every way in their business. All right. They'll keep blaming the software. They'll keep working harder to compensate, working their ass off. They will stay personally involved in revenue forever because they are just simply solving the wrong problem. The CRM is not broken, okay? The problem is the system, it was never built. Until you fix that, nothing else matters.